Alright, section 8.5, this is part A. And make sure that you have the definition and all of those graphs labeled, which is from your book. You're going to need to have this done before you get to class in order to get the extra credit points. So we're going to jump right into the first problem here. It says graph that equation, identify the vertices, foci, and asymptotes of the hyperbola. First one we're going to do is rewrite this in standard form. And each hyperbola has to equal 1, meaning we need this number right here to be 1. That means we're going to have to divide everything by 100. And then we simplify this. We have 25 over 100. It's going to give us 1/4. So y squared over 4. And then 4 over 100 is 1 over 25. So x squared over 25. And then equals 1. Now it's in standard form. Step 2, it says look at the y squared. Since it is positive, then it will have a vertical transverse axis. And this can be taken right from the equations you wrote from the book. Step 3, we're going to plug in the vertex coordinates and figure out the foci and asymptote. So what we need here is we need to figure out what our A and our B is, and then we can go from there. So if our A is 4, we got to take the square, actually that's A squared. We have to take the square root of 4, so 2 equals our A. And then we have to take the square root of 25, and that is going to equal our B. Now that we have that, we can write in the vertex, and the vertex points are going to come from that graph that you copied down in your book. And for a vertical transverse axis, we're going to put 0, comma A, which is going to be 2, and then 0, negative 2. So there's the vertex. And then the foci, we need to figure out what C is. And we only have A and B right now, so we're going to need to use an equation. Now, the equation that we used for ellipses was different than what we're going to use today. So, please make sure you notice this. Instead of being minus, it's now going to be plus. So we're going to fill in A squared, which is 4, and B squared, which is 25. So our C squared is 29, and if we take the square root of 29, it ends up being about 5.4. So our foci, because we're following the vertical one, it's supposed to be 0 first, and then the C. And then we have 0, negative C. Okay, now, where in the world does the B come in? The B comes in when we're talking about asymptote. And the asymptote equation is always going to be y equals plus or minus your A divided by B. So, since we know that, we're going to say y equals plus minus our A, which is 2, over B, which is 5. So here is our asymptote. I'm just going to abbreviate that. So step 3 is now done. Step 4, we're going to have to graph this, and it's very important that you use graph paper. I'm going to show you why. The first thing you want to do is you want to plot the vertex. So we have 1 at 0, 2, and 0, negative 2. Now you can draw in the foci. So that was at 0, 5.4. Oops, I'm sorry, 0, 5.4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.4. And then right here. And before you just start drawing your U's, this is where that asymptote comes into play. So we have our asymptote of 2 over 5. So we're going to start at the origin. We're going to go up 2 over 5. We're going to just put a little point. We're going to go the other way, up 2 over 5. We're going to form our box. And then we're going to go down 2 over 5. Down 2 over 5. And what you can do now is draw in the box. And then you can go ahead and do a linear diagonal, which mine is terrible right now, that goes through it on all the corners. Mine looks terrible. Now, what I just did was I was able to figure out how far this is spread open. So remember, this is your foci. I'm going to label that. And here's the vertex. This vertex follows right along this line. So this one is pretty wide. Same thing over here. It follows right along, but it can't go past any of these dotted lines. That's what an asymptote, it kind of holds it all together. So this is what our graph looks like. All right, equation number 2, same directions. We're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to notice that this is our a squared, and this is our b squared. And that comes from the equation that I gave you from the book. So we're going to take the square root of 81, the square root of 25, now this case, the 9 is going to be our A, which happens to be the bigger one, and the 5 is our B. So from just this, we can find out what the focus is. The vertex, and the asymptote. All right, now the vertex for this is going to be the same because notice the y squared is still positive. That means we're going to do the vertical. So we're going to have 0a, which is 9, and then 0, negative 9. The focus we're going to figure out in a second here. The asymptote I can go ahead and do. It's going to be y equals plus or minus a over b, so 9 over 5. And now the only thing left is the focus. So we're going to do c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So we have c squared equals 81 plus 25. And when I add those up, I get 106. And I need to take the square root. So once I do that, I get 10.3. And that's my c. So the focus is going to be 0, 10.3, and 0, negative 10.3. And we're ready to graph. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is put in your vertex, which was 0, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you can do your foci. So 10.3 would be right here, and then right here. And I'm going to label those. Focus. And now we want to draw our box. So the equation we have is 9 over 5. We're going to go up 9 over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go up 9/5 this way. We're going to go down 9/5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down 9 over this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go ahead and put the dotted lines in. And then I need that diagonal. Hopefully I can be a better drawer this time. And then it's time to draw the graph. So it's going to start here and it's going to go up. It's got to follow those dotted lines. So this graph looks a little bit different.